When employees when employees work over 40 hours a week, the law requires that they be paid overtime. Population. Now there's an exception. There are a small group of employees who fall outside of the Fair Labor Standards Act. This exception is called an exemption. There are several categories of exemptions to the overtime requirements to the Fair Labor Standards Act. Individuals that fall under the exemptions are not required categories that need to be satisfied. In order to be exempt from the Fair Labor Standards Act, there are three of an exemption is that you have to, so the first of an exemption for the Fair Labor Standards Act is that you have to pay the required amount each week. So the minimum amount is $684 a week. Now that's the first requirement. If you don't pay someone that much, that amount, then you void the exemption. So if you don't pay the employee at least $684 a week, then you have to increase their pay to reach the minimum of $684 per week, or you have to reclassify them as a non-exempt employee. Then you have to check their hours, and then you have to pay them over any hours. Now there's a part two to this test, it's a salary basis test. As the courts look at whether or not you're actually paying the worker salary. So the salary basis test is really important. So the salary basis test works like this. You have to pay the employee as to how many hours they work if they show up and work a week's salary. Now, it doesn't matter the quality or the quantity of the work, as long as the employees show up to work each week, you have to pay salary. If you temper or you reduce an employee's salary pay, if you reduce an employee's pay if you reduce an employee's pay based on the quality or the quantity of work each week, then you converted them from an exempt employee to a non-employee. The reason why is that you have voided the salary requirements test. So as you can see, there is a minimum amount that you must pay in salary, and you must pay them a salary. Then there are duties that you must meet. So exempt, they must have a specific and job function that they must meet. And all of these are outlined in the Department of Labor's fact sheet number 17, or you can look at our website for a full explanation of those requirements as far as the salary part. Now, 684 is the bare minimum. So by federal law, the Department of Labor, that's a federal statute. Now, some states have protection. There's a couple of other states. So if you live or work or a business in a particular state, you will salary requirement in order to you will be subject to a higher salary requirement. And so some cities, some states, some cities have requirement for employees. So for example, California has a monthly salary, $1,679. Colorado has a higher weekly salary of $865.38. Maine has a higher weekly salary requirement of $735.59. New York has a higher week salary requirement, and Washington has higher categories of $1,014.30 per week in salary. So if you operate a business in any of these states, you're going to have to pay a higher weekly salary and make sure that you're in compliance. Now, actions that you can and cannot make. So you run into trouble if you, as a business owner, start making deductions from employee salary who are exempt, because if you improperly make deductions from employee salary, you may void element of exemption. So the courts will look at on whether or not your deductions hindering or the salary part. So you can make deductions for absences, a full day, but you can't make deductions based on hourly absences. Like if someone's late an hour, you can't make incremental deductions on an hourly basis. You can make a half day or a full day deductions, but you can't keep track of exempt employees' work and try to reduce their pay the hour. There are also some limitations on deductions for performance or violation of work safety or work rules. Once you start making those type of deductions, you're in a gray area and you risk voiding the salary of the exemption. Now, certain exemption categories, I'll briefly go through them, but in order to make this video short, I'm not going to go through every single one, but you have executive exemption, administrative exemption, computer exemption, and professional exemption. Those are the, so if you have any questions about overtime or how to properly pay workers, or if you're being paid, or give us a call at 713-223-8855. We'll be glad to talk to you about it.